Omniscient Reader, chapter 182. We had it was a really short chapter last week, but it was a good chapter. And it was various conversations that Doksha was having. It was forgive me, I'm sick. It was Doksha and Huan's conversation and him telling her that she could stay if she want to. Kind of telling her like you can make your own decisions now, because we know that Doksha, when it comes to Huan and Young Sung, like he took in an interest, or he took a response of, how do I word it? He took kind of like control of them and progressed them and leveled them up like they're Pokemon or something, like early on throughout the series. So now it's like to the point where it's like he could let them go. He wants them to be able to go through things and make decisions on their own and all of that. So we had the start of that with Young Sung starting his what is it called? His story. So we had that, and then the same thing now with Yuan, where she's like, I don't want to fight no more. Like, we have a great place right now, and I kind of just want to, like, I'm kind of like on day 4, and it feels like we could stay here. And he's like, if you want to, you could. And now she's like, what do you mean? And it kind of ends up to her, in my eyes, being like, okay, if you're not going to stay and you want me to stay, then maybe you should talk to Reinhardt. Talk to him. You can learn more about this place. Maybe you might stay after you talk to him. I don't know. That's how I'm assuming their conversation went. They kind of like jumped that conversation around a little bit. So we end the chapter with the beginning of Reinhardt and Doksha's conversation. And it was like a multifaceted, like dual meaning conversation, talking about the flower. Ooh, what's the name of it? It's like something with like a cyclical nature or something. I can't think of it, but talking about the flower and how Reinhardt explains it, where you have to water it, like it sprouts in the morning, it blooms, you water it, and then it like drops the fruit, and then it's like perpetual moon. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate it. Perpetual motion, excuse me. And it was like you had the back and forth, and kind of how I was interpreting it was the flower was meaning both, like they were both talking about the flower and about what's the name of the place? Paradise? It's called Paradise, right? I think they were talking about both Paradise and the flower as well, about how if you can overlook the shortcomings of something, like, can you overlook the shortcomings of something if the majority of it is really good? And I kind of took that like with the same thing with Paradise, where it's like Paradise is a safe haven. It's safe. It's protected. On the outside, everything looks amazing, but we don't know if there's a dark side to it, where there has to be some sort of penalty paid or some deed done to maintain the peace and the safety of Paradise. So kind of like that, hey, this place is great, but what if you knew this is what had to happen in order for this place to be safe? Would you be cool with it? Something like that. So I don't know if it's like exactly that, but that's how I took it. And then that's when you get the reveal that Reinhardt is one of the 10 evils, and he's the second in the tower. He's the second strongest in the tower. And yeah, I think that's where it ends. So 182. Let's hop into it. Let me introduce myself again. My name is You're the Lord of Paradise, Reinhardt von Gerba. Shockface. One of the notorious 10 evils that appear in TWSA. Nice to meet you, Doksha Kim. I'm not reading this again. Everything's level 10. Everything's maxed out. Doksha, all of his stats are at level 90, if I'm not mistaken, because we went and looked back at it last week. All of his stats are level 90. And we know that electrification is at level 11 plus 1. So it's like it's 1 above level 10. We know the level cap is 10. So Reinhardt's a force to be reckoned with. Great. Chapter 31, episode 182, Graveyard of Scenarios, part 5. His stats are outstanding. His overall stats have surpassed the scenario limit. And almost all his skills are at skill levels, are at maximum proficiency. Why did you want to see me? I kind of want to see him fight. I don't blame you. I was curious about the rumors I heard about you. The moment you entered this scenario, all sorts of beings have been talking about you. I could not help but feel threatened. You're quite humble for a demon Marquise, right? That's how you say that? Marquise? That's how you say that, right? A demon Marquis. Thank you. A demon Marquis who's ranked 2nd. Thank you. I'm surprised you know that. You've really done your research. Should I attack him now? It's not that I don't stand a chance. But if I kill him, this paradise will. I was thinking that too. I know we talked about that last week. Whenever we were thinking, like, it came up, like, would Doksha try to fight him? Would he try to kill him? And I know the sentiment of, like, if this guy's like the ruler of this place, like, taking him out would then take down paradise, and then you would run the risk of becoming enemies to all the people that loved it here, and then that's when it led into all the other stuff we were talking about. So, and I think Doksha meant what he said to her, like, if you want to stay here, you can stay here. I'm pretty sure he meant that. And then getting this line right here, where he's like, dude, if I fight this guy and I kill him, then this place will, like, come to an end. And if he actually wants them to stay here, if they want to stay here, he doesn't want to do that. Let me continue. In the world I come from, Dark Castle, in the world you come from, Dark Castle was the 34th scenario. I remember the moment I fell into this place 800 years ago, when these plains were completely empty. All I had was my rank. So he's akin to, like, a returnee, or like how the catastrophes were, like how Yu Sung was from the 41st, Jungyak's 41st regression, or his 41st turn. Bro, my freaking throat is like finito. I'm gonna have to run upstairs and get something. This cough drop's not doing it. Even without any instructions, incarnations were hard at work killing one another. That's why he's that strong, right? Okay. So I created this paradise. The Dokubis call these plains the graveyard of scenarios, but I beg to differ. Although I have become a blood-soaked demon over the years I spent here, I can confidently say that new life can blossom here, where there are no more scenarios. Excuse me. If I hadn't read the original novel, I might have been awestruck by his philosophy. The purest evil. This is what Jungyak called Reinhardt in the novel. Interesting. I'm glad that I always I like to credit the series when it does this, because I like when the chapter before you can pick up what they're putting down. Like they had this proverbial conversation, talked about all these different things without talking about it. And you can sit back and think and infer what their conversation was about. And then the series will give you more insight. And it's like, I like that they can be subtle in that. And then you can actually like, oh, so it must be something like this. And then get the information trickled to you. And it is that. It just feels good. It's really good writing. Gotcha. Okay. Not from a different place. Okay. I don't get how he can be so far ahead in terms of scenarios, but the limit on their strength is the same. Difficulty increase per scenario must be tiny compared to ours. Yeah. I guess so. Hold on. Let me run upstairs and grab something real quick. It'll be like 30 seconds. Earth stories are just more interesting. Yeah. I think at some point the difficulty levels out after a certain scenario. Okay. Like imagine Peaceland in like the 34th scenario. It would probably not be stronger than Earth. It's interesting that Earth's like how it scales from planet to planet. That's something that I can't think about too much because, again, step into like space and the universe in this series, my brain starts to do this. And I can't think no more. Hopefully, eventually, I'll get there. All right. Let me scroll back up and then start from here. All right. If I hadn't read the original novel, I might have been awestruck by his philosophy. The purest evil. This is what Jung-Yat called Reinhardt in the novel. Constellation Doksha Kim. You must be thinking of moving on to the next scenario. Give it up. Such a thing doesn't exist. Many powerful men sought out the hidden scenario, but none of them ever managed to clear Dark Castle. They just ended up in despair at the vanity of the scenarios. I don't want you to become like them. What is it that you want from me? It's a good question. I'll go down. Protect paradise alongside me. Interesting. He's tall. I need your help. What's that? I said let me go. I said I was sorry. Excuse me. You don't need to do this just because I stole something. You didn't probably have to steal in the first place. That's probably why they're taking you. Just as perpetual motion cannot exist on its own, I know very well that paradise doesn't exist without any sacrifices. Spot on, baby boy. A few constellations are chuckling unpleasantly. What the hell? So they... Damn. This is what you call weeping and gnashing of teeth. That's what you call that. Reinhardt. There is no such thing as paradise. Just like how perpetual motion cannot exist on its own. Give me the next scenario. Wow. This is multiple times he's had this shocked demeanor on his face. I already know that you found it 700 years ago. That was my question. I was going to say it. I'll tell you exactly when I was going to say it, and I didn't. It was right here. I was going to say it right here. When I read this, I was going to be like, this guy's this powerful and he's stuck here too. I 100% I was going to say, and I held on to it. So for Doksha to be like, dude, I know you found it. I already know that you found it 700 years ago. How did you even challenge the scenario yourself with some powerful allies? But you failed and survived alone. And you created this paradise. All the scenarios of the star stream exist to stimulate. But there is nothing stimulating here. Everything is too peaceful. Don't expect your deal with the Dokkaebis to last forever. There's no way the star stream would allow a space like this for so long. That's an interesting thing. That's something I didn't even think about. This right here is something I definitely didn't think about. Also, is Reinhardt, because of this ordeal, because he tried to challenge it, lost, was the lone survivor. He was, to think how strong he is, he was that shook that he was just like, F that, I'm never doing that again. That's crazy. This thing keeps talking about him. Constellation Doksha Kim. What else do you know? That's what I'm saying. It's like, did you talk a little bit too much to the evil guy? For you to be like Jung Yak. Jung Yak calls this individual the purest evil. You start talking and saying things that nobody should know. Feels like you're kind of setting yourself up. Well, we know Doksha likes to play Galaxy Brain Chess. But it's like you kind of set yourself up to you know, get messed up. I don't know. All right. What else do you know? That's a dope panel. Everything. Excuse me. Maybe even things you don't know about. Reinhardt, you will die, and paradise will fall. Are you sure we should be doing this? That is true. Whatever he went through is not what everybody. That is. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You are right. You are right. Are you sure that we should be antagonizing this individual? No. Are you done talking to him? Yes. She still seems a bit shaken up. She's probably torn between her loyalty towards me and the comfort that paradise gives her. The fact that last week I was like, it would be a dumb idea for Doksha to try to fight Reinhardt, and then for Doksha to be like, I could kill this guy. For him to be like, I could fight him and I'm pretty sure I could win. But it's just like, if I do that, then what's the outcome? And I was like, maybe we shouldn't do that. I don't know. Maybe we should. You won. How about we go shopping? Slowly, just a little bit. Yeah. Look at the clouds going, either going towards or coming from this place. That brat. I'm going to die and paradise will fall? Even if he's become a constellation, Doksha Kim is still only half a constellation. And it's not that rare to see the 72 Demon Kings devouring newly made constellations in the star stream. Question mark, something pops up. Constellation Abyssal Black Flame Dragon is warning you not to take Doksha Kim's words lightly. Even Abyssal Black Flame Dragon, one of the most evil constellations that even the 72 Demon Kings prefer not to get involved with is defending him. That's crazy. That is insane. That's crazy. This is okay, so this is gonna be like, it's been a minute since we've had the fourth wall shake. Wow. Follow me. It's been a minute since I think the fourth wall hasn't shaken since we've seen it. Like, since we've seen it, honestly, since we've seen it, it's not popped up ever again. I didn't think about that. But this is a moment right here where it's like, I look at this panel and I see his face and I know what he's thinking. If this were Doksha, this would be a moment where the fourth wall would be shaking violently. It'd be like one of those things. It feels like this. It has to feel like his world, like everything that he's done in the last 700 years has been, it's like gonna crumble. It's like he holds status. He's one of the strongest demon lord kings, whatever, coming across this half constellation Doksha Kim dude, and individuals that the demon kings that we wouldn't dare try to get on their bad side, and they're protecting him. They're saying we shouldn't get involved with him. They're putting the word out for him to us. And then he's telling me that this place is gonna fall. Like, everything I've done is gonna be rendered moot. I feel like this feels like the when the screen goes, should we be doing this? Right? Should we be doing this? Should we be saying these things? Because even if he's getting all these warnings, you just might get the attention that you didn't want. I don't know. Let me continue. Paradise will never fall. I have managed to defend this place alone for 700 years. I will never lose as long as I fight here in Paradise. So does he get like a home field advantage status buff, field bonus, fighting in Paradise? The real threat is actually drop. So this is the perpetual motion. One thing, this feels so ominous. Drop. What if he doesn't water it? Right? It can't take care of itself. What if he chooses not to? I don't know. It's been a while since we were able to take a relaxed walk like this. Murmur. Don't you have anything you want to ask me? What should I ask? My favorite color or my favorite food? You wouldn't ask those questions even on a blind date. Have you been on one? What do you take me for? Of course not. He's never been on a blind date. The thing is, they have never known Doksha to not be Doksha. They don't know young version of him. Subtle gaslight, no big deal, right? What do you take me for? It's just that we've never talked about things like that. We never told each other what we used to do, what schools we went to. Damn, just keep reading. What our cell phone numbers are, where we used to live. But I think too much time has passed for us to start talking about such things. If I'm not mistaken, it's only been like 2 months, right? 3 months, something like that. It hasn't been an extremely long time that all this stuff has been going on, right? It's been like a couple of months at best. Barely 2 months. Okay. It hasn't been long. All right. I have to sneeze again. Hold on. Okay. Wow, that cleared my nose up. Cleared my nose up. Hurt my ribs. All right. The soul we remember won't be there even when we get back, right? I think so. My nose is clogged again. Then why should we carry on with the scenarios when everything we used to know is long gone? When we don't have a home to get back to? You're good with the sword, Huan. You're calm and unforgiving, more so than anyone among us at the sight of injustice. And especially when you see someone abuse their power against the weak. You always put yourself at the front lines of battle, and you never once complain that things were difficult. You never trust people but are actually very affectionate. You are also the first to come running when a companion falls in danger. Don't you think I know enough about you? That's pretty good. Hot Cheetos. Oh gosh. I gotta find something. That's not the kind of person I am. But that's the Huan I've seen for myself. You do great on a blind date, Doksha. I only know these things about you because you kept participating in the scenarios. We don't have a home to get back to. We can make a home though. That's the whole thing, right? I feel like that's probably the thing I would subscribe to. It's like, yeah, like the life that we know is probably gone. There's no telling when these scenarios will end, if they will end. Speaking like someone in these scenarios. If we do, and we make it to the end of it, then we can make a new home. That is the very reason. We don't have a home to get back to, but the story. I hate this how the series does this. I would too. I would too. Why I think we should keep working on the scenarios. Hold on. We don't have a home to get back to, but the story continues on, right? The item you commissioned to be made has arrived. Well, that was a bit difficult for me to understand. I'm not saying this in the hopes of having you act a certain way, Huan. All you have to do is keep living life the way you used to. A new sword, an item made from a fire dragon's bones, heart of a demon, and the nucleus from various monsters that only Huan Zhang can use in this world. Oh, he made her a new sword. Oh, wow. You gave Huan Zhang the Sword of Judgment. This is... I told you we'd be going shopping, didn't I? I just keep moving forward. Some guy from some small island. That sword is fire. I like the engravings. This is my present for you. Chapter's over. I like this chapter. I really enjoyed this chapter a lot. The engravings on that sword is sick. She's gonna feel guilty if she stays in paradise now. Well, she might feel guilty, but also he's telling her, you can do what you want. You can do what you want. You could do what you want. You could do what you want. But here's this nice shiny sword, so you kind of feel like indebted to me. Oh, man. You don't have to do what I want. Do what you want. Oh, by the way, here's this high-grade item. Really useful for you. But remember, do what you want. Yeah. That's our scammer. Yes, he is. But I like it, though. I don't know why I like it. If I take the scammer part out of this, right? If Doksha's not a scammer, I like for him to empower her. Right? I like for him to empower her, for him to make her own choices. And then, how can I word this? Essentially, like, gift her something for the individual that she's been this whole time, right? She says that, like, after he says all these different things about her, that she's never thought about herself. Like, she never thought herself as anything that he said. Not because clearly she didn't. And he's like, well, that's who I see, because that's the person that I'm around all the time. And to give her that kind of as like an appreciation, that has to be a crazy cool moment. Has to be a crazy cool moment. I'm no shipper, but stay in a super peaceful land that will never have you fight anybody. Here's this weapon specifically made for you to fight. But you never know. There might. I would just be reinforcing. Maybe there might be a fight someday. I don't know. You should have this. Nah, but this feels like the scammer's gonna scam. It's like shooter's gonna shoot, scammer's gonna scam, and I'm a scam my way to make sure that she don't leave. Oh man. No, he doesn't. You're absolutely right about that. Right? Like not being funny. This chapter was a really good one. Just the conversations that were being had, all of this. Doksha, he's being honest. He doesn't need to lie to get the W on the scenario. No, he doesn't. He does not, because we already know how she feels. All right, there's no, like, he doesn't need to pull her string anymore because she already feels that way. Now the whole thing is, and I don't know where Doksha's going to take this, but this whole thing is, do I just like, can I get this guy to give me the what's his face? What's it called? Give me the scenario? Give me whatever the hell Doksha titled it. Can I get this guy to just give this thing to me? Because he found it, which is interesting. Hold on. Oops. Oh, man. Dude, she looks amazing. Like, the way I like her hair up. She looks great in every panel. You're not wrong. She just, like, from the moment she's been in, give me the next scenario, right? From the moment she was introduced into the series, she's always, like, every panel she's been in, she looks great. But, give me the next scenario. So this must, it's like, now I get Doksha's, I understand his not his moral dilemma, but I understand the dilemma that he's in, where he probably, if the scenario is actually something that if the scenario is something that Reinhardt actually possesses, that he has to then give Doksha so that he can go and do it, it's either, I kind of look at it, or I'm kind of, where we fought Tentacion and we took his story. Kind of look at it like that. So it's like, give me the scenario, bro. Like, if you just give it to me, I can leave you alone. I'll leave Paradise alone. A bit like all these different things are telling you to leave me alone. Give me the scenario. I'll leave you alone, even though this place is going to come crashing down anyways. But I'll leave you alone. Or, if you're not going to, then we just might have to fight. Why is he evil, though? Why is he evil? I don't know. Corporate being kind, give everyone presents reminds me of calling someone evil due to being a demon is kind of being a demon king is kind of Jung Yak said that he is the purest evil. The purest evil. So my assumption is Jung Yak must have had some sort of encounter with this individual, uncovered something, and realized the deepness at which Reinhardt is operating at, or the lengths he would go to or go through. The most innocent evil? Is that what that's supposed to mean? When I think the purest evil, I think of pure evil. But another translation was the most innocent evil. All right, you see translations, bro. Because when I think of the purest evil, I'm thinking like through and through, this guy is evil to the core of him. But if another translation puts it the most innocent evil, then that just means by happenstance I hold a title. Right? Out of everyone else that holds this title, I might be the one you can negotiate with the most. I might be the one that's not going to just operate impunitively on just pure evil. Right? So and then especially learning more about his story, where it's just like, I came here, I got dropped here 800 years ago, and then I challenged the scenario, and everything that I had was destroyed. And in the wake of that happening, I decide to not tempt fate anymore and build a place where people could just be happy. Right? So now, I don't know. So now it's like you have, if you, depending on which way you're looking at how his story is being explained, this and Reinhardt could be like pure just evil and his title holds true and he's someone not to be trifled with, or he could just be someone that gained strength, decided, like, I don't know, he just happens to hold the title of Demon King and is really freaking strong, but is not necessarily just gonna act strictly on just pure evilness. I don't know. So it's like, it depends. A child being evil is what comes as innocent to me. I think that's supposed to be misleading. What I read is one of the evils he operates with the purest motives. Just looked it up. The Hangul used to spell can be interpreted multiple different ways depending on the context. Right? It's definitely one of the highest advocates of peace. It has a whole place called paradise. Being the most innocent of a group of people called the 10 evils isn't that high of a bar, though. He is the least innocent, though. By the way, that was the first time I ever used the word extrapolate. Like, ever. That's hilarious. That's true. So it's like, I'm proud of myself. So it's like, yeah, it's like he's still probably evil. It's just out of the 10 evils, he's probably the one that you could talk to. Like this situation. Who knows? If it was any one of the other 10 evils, it might have been on site and they might be still scrapping right now. But you might actually be able to talk to Reinhardt and play with his mind a little bit and tick him off. So I feel like that might be that. Having innocent, it's not the correct word. Purest evil wouldn't make sense, like Thanos solving world hunger. Well, Thanos, it depends on what Thanos you're looking at. If you're looking at comic Thanos, that dude just wanted to impress the hoes. Movie Thanos is the guy you're talking about, man. Guy that has a motive and he'll do anything for said motive, even if you have to go into the abyss. Yeah, movie Thanos. So it's like, if it's pure, innocent, honest could all mean, it could be, they all could mean the same exact thing, just depending on context. It's an interesting one, where it's just like, now it's like, I don't know how to take Reinhardt's character. We got to see the perpetual motion. We got to see like it bloomed. We seen him watering it, and then we seen it fall, and then it went really dark. And at the same time, it was like Reinhardt saying like, I'm not really the issue here. That's something to take note of, though. For an individual holds the titles that he holds, for him to be like, Heyo, all I care about is paradise. Yeah, comic Thanos is a bum. I mean that in the nicest way possible. Like, I really only care about paradise, right? I'm gonna make sure this is fine. I've been through some traumatic things, you little brat. It's pretty much what it is. I'm not the issue here, right? I hold title number 2. I'm not the issue. It's something else. It's something else here that's got this all messed up. And I'm trying to help you. If you just stay here and help me, we can make this thing work. But so it's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic between these two that I did not see coming. I actually did not see coming. Dude, so far in this stream, my throat is hurt, my nose is clogged up, my nose is unclogged, my nose is reclogged, my throat's stopped hurting, and now it's hurting again. Good gracious. I'm done. I need a cup of tea. I need something. I need something just hot. Just gonna drink some hot sauce. I don't know. One thing we aren't talking about is how Doksha can beat the second strongest person here. So as long as he doesn't meet the strongest, he should be fine. Good thing to bring that back up to stay on topic. For Doksha to be ranked at 11, and we know how rankings go in series. For him to have that title, and for him to honestly look at number 2. See, now this is why I hope this isn't another situation where Doksha's getting a little ahead of himself. Like whenever he played that whenever he scammed the constellations with the Be Young thing, get over 10,000 viewers in the stream, but his channel only allowed the 9,999. And it was like, ooh, I got one over on him. And they flipped the script on him, and he was kind of caught off guard, and he had to scramble and regroup. I just hope that we're not in a similar situation like that, where Doksha is in. What I'm hoping is, or what I think, I'm hoping it's not this. What I think is, Doksha is in, like, he's in a lake, or he jumped in the water thinking it was a lake, knowing that there might be some big things in this lake. But it actually isn't a lake. It's actually a sea. So now there's bigger things that he has no idea of that will probably be working behind the scenes to get to him. So I don't know. We got the thing from Sangha saying that someone that he cares about the most will end up killing him. What I also like, going back to that, and I wonder if this arc will do this, is we've already previously established Doksha and Junghyuk's relationship multiple times. We established it, but even more so, the last arc we established it with the conversation they had. So we know how Doksha feels about him. Right now, we're talking about dating and all this stuff, even though it's not shipping stuff, but they're making sure that Doksha has been building up the personal relationships with everybody. Right? They're having like this walk, this conversation. He's giving a gift. He's like all these things. We're building everyone. It feels like everyone's relationship with Doksha is being brought to like the highest it's been in the series. So it's like Hyung Sung and Doksha has never been closer than what they've been through whenever they dealt with him, like starting his story. Same thing now with Yuan. Same thing with Yusung. Yusung's about to be, Dokubi Yusung's about to be born. There's no telling how that's gonna go. The relationship with Jung Yak is as high as it's ever been. So we have all these different relationships that could possibly occupy that the person that he cares about the most or cares about him the most, or however it's worded. I always forget how it's worded. That could fit that slot. Depending on where you're looking at it from, you can slot so many different people in there. So I've been noticing that. I feel like this chapter made it like aware, where it's like, all right, we're making sure that we're placing like the building blocks to show that these relationships do mean a lot to him. Because right now, like this whole thing, like everyone else is in paradise. You have to think, everyone else, like all of our friends are here. And right now, Doksha's like his primary focus that he's really focused on is her. And it's because of like the dilemma, the mental dilemma that she's going through. Like she has not his full attention, because he's all in here. But she has his attention right now. She's had his attention since the moment she showed up. And he looked at her and she gave him like the nod. She's had his attention since then. He went up here, talked to him, came back to her, and was like, let's go do this. And kept talking, kept walking and talking all this stuff. So I just wonder where the rest of this arc's gonna go. Like, what's Rhinak gonna do? What the hell is the visual mean with perpetual motion? I'm curious. I am. For a while, the only thing that really shakes Doksha is when he has to deal with Constellation. Yeah. If we're being honest, when's the last time when we're being honest, if I'm really thinking, when's the last time that Doksha has been in a situation, in a scenario, and was worried? It feels like it's been a minute. Right? It feels like it's been a minute. It feels like it's been a little minute. Yeah, it's like probably Nirvana in the fourth wall. Nah, he had that sewed up though. Peaceland, he looked yeah, hey Lachi. It was the beginning of Peaceland, he was like stressed. Like that beginning of it. Actually, yeah, the last time I feel like I've seen him vexed about something was when what's her name? Was the Asakura asks some. Damn, what's her name? Chick that wrote Peaceland. That's the last time I feel like I've seen him vexed. When it hasn't come down to like a constellation, what you guys are saying. I feel like that's the last moment. Asuka Ren. Yeah. I feel like that's the last time I've seen him vexed. Whenever he's talking to her and she says something, he's like, what the? It's blocked? What do you mean you don't remember nothing? Like, what do you mean? What the hell? So I feel like that's the last time we've seen him vexed, when it hasn't come to like the fourth wall. Because that fourth wall moment, whenever he's like, bro, shook him. Miscalculation, waking up many days later from a dark castle. Was he vexed though? That was like one line. That's what it's like. It's like we glanced right over it. He's like, damn, I kind of woke up late. It was like that, and it was like, oh, screw it, let's get to the castle. He popped up at the castle. It feels like since he's gained this partial consolation thing, he's been Big Dick Willie, just walking around, just doing stuff. That's what it feels like. Yeah, that one seemed like it's just like ah, damn, I woke up late. Hope everyone's okay. Let me go over here and do this. Yeah, so I wonder like how long is he gonna keep this partial constellation status? When will he become a full constellation? Well, when he gets that fifth story. That boy needs to be Hammer. We need tragedy and growth. No, I don't want nobody to die. That's the one thing. I don't want nobody to die. That's not me. It's, you know, it's weird. Yeah, even B Young said that too. B Young, he did say that whenever they talked a couple chapters ago. He did say that. I don't know. He's moving different. But I don't want my characters to die. He's been chilling. Really doesn't know Duck shall be killed by one loves. It's time to get stressed again, yeah. Duck is becoming an OP Isekai protagonist. He is. I don't want nobody to die. I don't.